up guys, welcome back to the Supes channel. My name is Supes Ramos, and on this channel I aim to entertain, inform, and inspire using the topic of discussion as always, which is superheroes. So guys, today we have some brand new set photos coming to us from the set of Superman. My most anticipated film coming out in the foreseeable future. We've been getting some awesome set photos the past, couple of weeks, giving us some great looks at what these characters are going to look like in this film. When Superman was originally announced, one of the big things we heard about this film was that there was going to be multiple heroes that appear in this as well. We have Superman, Mr. Terrific, Hawkgirl, Guy Gardner, Metamorpho, Supergirl, and that kind of rounds out the list of heroes we're going to see in this. And today we got some brand new set photos giving us our first looks at Guy Gardner and Hawkgirl and the rest of the Justice League International interacting together in person. I know a lot of you guys are also excited for Deadpool and Wolverine, and I just want to remind you guys that I am doing a fan event here in Los Angeles. It's going down on July 25th. We are going to throw an absolute party for this film and experience it for the first time together. Tickets are linked down below in the description of this video. Now, let's get back to Superman. So right here we have our first look at Guy Gardner and Hawkgirl. And y'all know me, I love this stuff. I'm a die-hard Superman fan. I am so excited for this movie, and for the most part, I've been loving everything that we've been seeing and hearing so far from all of these set photos and just things behind the scenes. It feels like this film is being made with so much love. However, these suits I can't get behind. I'm sorry, these suits look pretty bad. And I'm going to talk about, how I think these suits feed into the story, because they obviously do. But just judging off of these photos right here, this right here is our first look at Guy Gardner. It's our first look at Hawkgirl. And they're not good looking suits, but I do think that's also the point. I do think that also feeds into the story. In a perfect world, I would have loved these characters to look as comic accurate as possible. But again, I think the reason they look the way they do is very intentional, and it's going to feed into the overall story. Here we have another shot of the entire Justice League International together. We have Guy Gardner talking to Superman in the bottom right. Hawkgirl and Mr. Terrific are up in the air flying. And then there's a guy in a blue suit. And it does feel and look like that is going to be Metamorpho, and Metamorpho is just going to be a CGI character. It is possible for them to do Metamorpho practically, but I also understand the types of costs that come with a character like that, and especially with the way Metamorpho moves and just is as a character, it makes sense why they would CGI him as well. Now, talking about how these suits feed into the overall story, I want to look at this image right here where we can see Guy Gardner talking to Superman and take a close look at that emblem on the front of his chest. Now, I want you guys to take a look at this image right here of Mr. Terrific running. He has that same emblem on the front of his chest. Now, let's take a look at Hawkgirl right here. She has the same emblem on the front of her chest. And it's very obvious that between Mr. Terrific, Guy Gardner, and Hawkgirl, all of these heroes have costumes that resemble each other. These aren't costumes that aren't comic accurate to the characters from the comics. I mean, besides Mr. Terrific, because he already has a similar looking suit in the comics. But when it comes to Guy Gardner and Hawkgirl, these suits are very different than what we're accustomed to seeing for them in the comics. And this logo that they are sporting on the front of their chest is actually the Lord Tech logo. Lord Tech is owned by Maxwell Lord, an evil billionaire in the comics who also happens to be the manager of the Justice League International. So these aren't suits that are from these characters. No, these are suits that are given to these characters from an evil billion-dollar corporation. And I think that's kind of the point of this film, right? I mean, just to compare the two, these suits are made by an evil billion-dollar corporation, and Superman's suit is so bright, joyful, just beautiful looking. That suit is supposed to be made by his mom. And, there's still no confirmation. We still don't know for sure if Superman's suit in this movie is made by his mom. But the reason I talk about all of this is because this is all going back to the point that this is a film where Superman is going to show the people of the world a better way, but he's also going to show the heroes of the world a better way. Again, James can describe this film as Superman is kindness in a world that sees that as a bit old-fashioned. And I think that's the point. I feel like we're going to see all of these other heroes as a part of the Justice League International working on behalf of a corporation, Lord Tech, which might not be as good as they think. And with these heroes who we know to be good people acting as soldiers on the behalf of an evil corporation, that's likely going to be a reveal in this film. And at some point, these heroes will realize that Lord Tech isn't as good as they thought it was. Lord Tech is probably doing some shady things behind the scenes that these heroes don't even know about. And Superman is going to show them that they can actually govern themselves. They can decide what's right and wrong, following their heart and not taking orders from someone like Maxwell Lord, who probably has ulterior motives. Superman is the hero of heroes. He is that guiding light, that positive force, the guy that people like Batman look up to for inspiration and guidance. So when it comes to this film, I feel like it's so fitting that we're seeing, we're using the character of Superman to introduce us to this already very populated world filled with superheroes, and yet Superman is going to show us why he stands out amongst them. I know the set photos coming from what they're shooting today are probably going to be very negative, just because, again, this is our first look at Guy Gardner and Hawkgirl, and, the suits aren't great looking, and this movie already has so many people rooting against it, so I'm sure a lot of the chatter is going to be negative. But another set photo I want to talk about is this one right here. Superman embracing a ton of little kids who are looking up to him, and this is what it's all about, right? I was this kid, man. I was this kid in this image when I was a kid. Like, looking up to Superman felt like this. It felt like every single day thinking, what would Superman do? If Superman can do this, I can do this. It felt like Superman just giving me the biggest hug, and now we're actually seeing that come to fruition in a film that is embracing so many different parts of Superman that we haven't seen realized on the big screen in such a long time. I also feel like with everything they're shooting, it really truly looks like James Gunn is actually making the people of Metropolis a character in this film. And that was one of the biggest things that were on my wish list of what I wanted to see them do with this next Superman film, because if we look at something like the Raimi trilogy, those original Spider-Man films, I would say the biggest part of what made those films so special and sincere is the relationship between Spider-Man and the people of New York. Seeing everyday regular citizens step up and defend Spider-Man, or embrace Spider-Man, or even hate Spider-Man and give Peter Parker a hard time. It made those films feel so lived in. It made the moments between Spider-Man and the kids in like Spider-Man 2, or just Spider-Man and the people of New York throughout the entire trilogy, it made those moments feel so sincere, and it just got you to love that version of Spider-Man so much more than you already did. We've gotten so many superhero films where there's so many big battles going on, and civilians are getting killed, and these are like NPCs. We don't even know who these people are. There's no life to the people of this city, and I feel like with every superhero film, we should feel a connection to how the rest of the world perceives these characters. And it feels like we're really truly getting that with Superman, and I just cannot wait to see how the rest of this film explores his relationship with the people of Metropolis. So my overall thoughts on our first looks at Guy Gardner and Hawkgirl: yes, I think these suits look atrocious. I think they look terrible, but I also think that's the point, and I think it feeds into the overall story that they're trying to tell, with Superman teaching these heroes how to lead themselves independently, how to lead with their heart, and I think once he teaches them that, they will abandon these suits, they will abandon their connections to Lore Tech, and they'll create their new comic-accurate suits, as now they're going to go out into the world and make their own unique path with unique costumes along the way. Now, I want to know, what do you guys think of these new batch of set photos we've been getting all day today? Let me know in the comment section down below. I am so excited for this film, and I just love continuing to talk about it with you guys. Make sure to like this video, comment down below, subscribe, and hit that bell notification on my channel to get notified for future videos. And with that being said, thank you guys for watching this one. I love you guys 3000. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.